Notre Dame is the first team out of the college football playoff for the 2025 final edition of the selection show, and we are here to break it down.
By Samosa, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, five rocket touchdown!
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that isn't going to be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. Landon Trailer, John Richards, Dylan Kearns, Logan Trailer. Well, 10-2 Notre Dame wins 10 in a row, 2 losses to number 7 and number 10 by a total of 4 points. Beat USC, beat Pittsburgh, beat Navy, and beat Boise State. Alabama was 10-3. They got blasted at Florida State. They struggled with 4-8 South Carolina. It took a last play, a miracle, to beat 4-8 Auburn. They lost to Oklahoma with a bad offense, and then they get blasted in the SEC championship. But people say you can't penalize teams for playing in the conference championship. Then why is BYU out? Because I'll say they had an embarrassing performance too. I agree. They made the right decision there. Why did you penalize BYU? But end of the day, I think we got screwed. I think we got hosed. But you got to win one of those first 2 games. And that's where I will open the floor up here to the panel. JR, initial reaction here. Now that the emotions have kind of settled in a little bit, maybe. I mean, I'm still a little hot over here, but go ahead, JR.
Well, yesterday when it went down, completely shocked, right? We all went to bed Saturday night thinking that everything that needed to happen happened and then some, right? Those teams got absolutely blown out of the water. No real thought waking up the next day thinking Notre Dame was going to be out. Then you see Oklahoma still at 9, Alabama still at 9 going to play Oklahoma. And you're like, wait a minute, huh? And I still thought we would be up there. And no, I'm shocked, but we have nobody to blame but ourselves. You have to win the games. All right. 10-2, you leave the door open to interpretation, open the door to comparisons. And this is what happens when you get a room full of ADs from these conferences. You guys, I felt like that whole hour was an SEC ad, that show. It felt like an SEC ad. It really did. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed, but I'm not upset because the real simple solution is to just win one of those 2 games, right? And you're in 11-1. You're in. They can't really keep that out of you. So, what are you going to do? Do we want to talk about not accepting or going to a bowl game? I guess we could get into that later. I've got mixed emotions about that. But I've got a long list I can get into, but I think this is just the beginning. So I'll turn it over to whoever else wants to go next.
Let's go with Coach here. Guess I'm still lagging here, Logan.
No. I agree with the fact that you got to win the first one of the 2. And we did do this to ourselves. Let's not have a quarterback race, month and a half before our first game. Let's figure out our defense before August 31st or even September. Let's not lose back-to-back games when you have a bye week. But at the end of the day, yes, need to win at least one, but we got hosed. And I don't there's no excuses. I'm not going to sit here and cry uh, complain about it, but at the end of the day, them know that they will not be a part of anything that has to do with those two brands. That's what uh, that's what I would do. I canceled my Disney Plus subscription last night. I deleted it off of my app. The Fugazi, crooked, just crooked people making decisions. And at the end of the day, I'm not pissed at Miami. I
No.
completely get Miami. I'm pissed at the system for letting two teams that have no business being in it. I'm pissed at the ACC, and I'm pissed at Alabama.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know if we've ever seen this ESPN, this committee want a team in and make every excuse of why they deserve to be in more than they did for Alabama.
I mean, that was bad. They spent a whole 10 minutes on it.
Yes.
And that was very
And there is not a reason you can give me of why Notre Dame is not in and Alabama is. I don't. You're going to have to give me a very valid one, because the way I look at it, our two losses are the two teams that are in there that we lost the first 2 weeks by a combined 4 points. That's what the committee wants.
I personally view A&M as a win, if you're being honest. Like, that's how I would have viewed that. Like, you could almost throw the result of that game out the window because of what took place at the end by those SEC officials. And here we are. Like, again, we put ourselves in that position, but at the hands of SEC stranglehold.
hold the ball on the field goal, though. Hold the ball.
And that wouldn't have won you the game, though.
Would have sent to OT.
Sure. Yeah. Again, we have done this to ourselves. You win one of those two. I said you had to win one of those two.
Yeah.
I got more to come. Let's keep moving
along. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's
just myself. I didn't cuss.
You know what, Logan? That was great of you. Great job. Starting off the day, great. There's a win we got. You had a rough weekend, I'll tell you that. Bears, Irish. Whew. Go Pack, go. Dylan, thoughts, concerns, grievances. It's Festivus after all.
Yeah, it is. And you told Logan there's a win we got. We also got 10 straight to end the year. So, I mean, that's another way to look at this thing. I've been the one proponent more than anyone. Even before all this stuff happened, I knew we both, or all of us, we probably had a feeling after A&M, we might drop another one. Our expectation, you go back and watch our week 2 show, week 3, I guess, because of the bye. You're sitting there and you're watching all of us talking right here on this show, being like, we were content with it. But what happened was this committee gave us false hope for 3-4 freaking months to make you believe that you have a shot. They put you above Miami. And when both of you guys are sitting on your cans, they put them in, which is fine because they beat us. They beat us. But there's so many things I want to point to right now. I'm mad when the way we started the year was just not right. Chris Ash was a disaster. And I know he's getting praised for the turnaround. I would love to sit down. If you put a lie detector on the finger of Marcus Freeman and Mike Mickens and tell them, how much are you doing? How much did you do at halftime at Purdue? Because it's one thing to lose to those big schools and give up those points, but you do it to Purdue. That's not someone that can just turn it around in a week. I mean, I'm going on a soliloquy here. Back to the main point of missing the playoffs, okay? This got me going. It hit me at 3 a.m. Work overnight, sitting there, not writing, just thinking about this and how pissed I was. And it really got to me. Fellas, what does last year's Ohio State 2-loss team differ than what we have? They lost 2 games by a combined 4 points, one of them against Oregon. A tough matchup. That's our A&M. Oh, okay, cool. You want to say you lost a good game? That's fine. We're not going to penalize you for that.
Mhm.
Notre Dame loses to a week one on the road in the rain, whatever the hell you want to say. I'm not making excuses.
Mhm.
By 3 points to a freaking rival in week one on a Sunday night. You lose by 3 points, and they're a playoff team. So you lose to two playoff teams by a combined 4. Last year's Bucknuts didn't sniff a championship game in the Big Ten, their
Yep.
conference. So
Yeah.
they were on the same couch we were on this week.
Mhm.
They lost to a sorry Michigan team.
Got dominated physically.
Sorry. Yeah, they got crushed. So
What they're
put
saying,
that,
anyway.
put that, yes. So you're looking at the same exact landscape. And those, I'm not cussing. They got to host, not just get in. They got to host an MFer. And we're sitting on our couch after rolling off 10 straight, looking like one of the best teams in the nation. FanDuel even had us as what, 4th best odds to win the national championship? 3rd best. 3rd. It's even worse. So I know we needed to win one of those games. I know we weren't ready to start the year. But damn it, we had a Heisman candidate who was hitting his stride. No one was tackling that guy. This team was finally clicking down the stretch. So much meat on the bones. And they don't even give us a chance to get a bite on it. They just threw it in the trash right in front of our eyes.
With one of the best players in college football. I mean, there's no argument there that he's one of the best. My turn. Red's turn. Listen,
Hey.
I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. I mean, Florida State being left out of the 4-team playoff was bad. This is really, really, really bad. And I think Logan, you said it best yesterday. It sends a message to Notre Dame that, hey, you need to join a conference, which we will not. We signed an MOU, I believe it was this past spring. If we are number in the top 12 at the final rankings, we are guaranteed a spot. Like this year, we're ranked 11th in the final game or the final rankings. They would have pushed Miami, I believe it was, out, and Notre Dame would get that final at-large bid. Now, in terms of the system, listen, I have a lot of respect for the group of 5. They have a lot of good talent on their teams. They have a lot of good programs. They do not belong on the level of the playoff. I'm sorry. Those programs are not they're not to the level of competing for a national championship. And James Madison University and Tulane having an opportunity to play for a national championship and Notre Dame not having an opportunity to play for a national championship. That is what gets me. I am not mad at the Miami thing. The only thing I'm mad about in terms of the Miami Hurricanes is why the hell did you just now put them above us? You had, I mean, what, they start in November. You had 2 months almost to do the correct thing and put Miami ahead of us. If that's really how you felt, why waste it? And RAD even said it's a waste of time. I mean, I'm not going to be watching. I never did watch the ranking show on the random Tuesday night. Only time I did was when it was halftime or before the Duke game and the Champions Classic or whatever. The system is broken. End of the day, I mean, James Madison, they played one Power 4 team all year. They played 3 teams with winning records all season long. You're telling me the Sun Belt champion gets to play for a national or compete to get to a national championship over Notre Dame and BYU even? I'll even throw BYU in there for Tulane and them. They got hosts too. The system is broken. The system is broken. Now, Alabama. That is where I really have the frickin' issue. I mean, they got mollywopped at Florida State to open up the year. I mean, that wasn't even a game. They got dominated at Florida State. I mean, DeBoer had his tail between his legs. They were saying fire him after that performance because they was that bad. Sure, Alabama made it a little closer at the end, but I remember watching with Logan in my garage saying they are getting their shit beat out of them. Like, seriously, they were running all over them and everything. But hey, it was their first game, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that game didn't matter for them. It only mattered for us. They challenged the committee to go watch our first game. Did they ask them to go watch Bama's first game?
Oh,
No.
that's a take.
Did they ask them to go watch the Oklahoma game where they got manhandled? I mean,
They got blown out to start the year. They got blown out to end the year. They had their chance to compete with somebody who was in the playoffs, and they got boat raced. Now that you're going to give them another chance? It makes no sense. There's no logic to that.
And you can't justify it. You cannot justify it other than it makes you more money. And I think the SEC was madder than hell last year of what happened. They let their SEC champion get bullied by Notre Dame last year. And they said never again. Never again. Who has the media deal with the SEC? ABC and ESPN. How many SEC teams are in? A lot. I'll say that there is some corruption. Our boy Donnie might need to get involved here and look into this.
I feel like the whole conference thing is a misnomer. Like it only applies first off to two conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten.
Correct.
There's 12 spots, and 5 of them are occupied by the SEC. They're not even. I could argue they're not even the best conference. 4 of them are occupied by the Big Ten. That's 9 spots. 9, right? I have no problem with Miami being in.
Me either.
Now, there could be some parameters. They didn't play in their championship game. This is why I think championship games don't matter, and neither do conferences either.
Correct.
Because half of the team, Ole Miss, they didn't play for a conference championship.
Their head coach bailed.
Oregon, they didn't play for a conference championship. Right? So there's plenty of teams that are in the field that didn't play for conference championships, but they have that conference affiliation. So they got that power in that room of people backing them. Right?
Right. Absolutely.
So, 5 teams of 12. Now, maybe they certainly are teams that belong in there over Tulane and James Madison, right? There's some competitive balance to that 12-group team that should be lobbied for in there, because nobody in their right mind thinks that either of those two teams have any sort of chance.
They have no business in here. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, and I like the group of 5. They have some damn good football. They have no business playing on the level that they're about to play on. And it's going to show. Look at Boise State last year in the playoff. And unfortunately, look at SMU last year in the playoff. I mean, they're not an ACC team. They were an American athletic team, I believe, before they entered the ACC deal. And they got whopped.
The whole conference championship thing is a total
sham.
Load of BS. Everybody that played in a conference championship game this weekend and lost dropped.
Right.
Everybody.
Except number 9.
Well, even Ohio State dropped. They flipped. They dropped back.
Right.
Bama loses to Georgia, and they stayed. They stayed. They didn't move at all. In fact, they got rewarded for beating Auburn. You see who Auburn beat this year? Oh, my God. Unbelievable. There's selective amnesia in that room for that committee, right? And criteria, that's just a nice word that fits whatever narrative needs to be applied to the team that's being argued for. Because I could throw criteria for every single team in or out, right?
I could
comparison.
I could write criteria on how I wipe my ass after I take a shit.
It's meaningless. It's just something that they apply for their argument. Right.
Criteria to them means they can do whatever the hell they want. I mean, that's at the end of the day what it means. Now, last thing I'll say.
I kind of view the championship games almost as play-in opportunities. They're almost like elimination games, right? Why should Alabama have another chance to go compete when they just got boat raced for a team that is in the playoffs. They're 2-2 in their last 4. That doesn't include getting boat raced by Free Shoe U at the beginning of the year. They want the 12 best teams that are playing the best at the end of the year. No, they don't. That's the criteria that they try to tell you for 2 months on that stupid show.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Now, in terms of the ACC, I am done. I have been a big ACC guy for men's basketball. I liked them. I backed them. I mean, they put a lot of teams in the Final Four, won a lot of national championships, more than the Big Ten, put more teams in the Big Ten and the Final Four. I am done. I am not going to sit here and defend them anymore. I think we need to get the hell out of that partnership for football. If you really want a partnership, go do it with the Big Ten. Go do it with somebody else. Play your 5 games a year, which I think we should. Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue, USC, and then maybe another Big Ten team.
Indiana.
Yeah, sure. Indiana. The 20. Pick one of the 20. How
about this? Just go join a group of 5 conference and win that every year, and you're in.
Let's go join the MAC.
And you're in.
Let's go join the MAC.
How much money would bring to the MAC?
Oh my!
We'd be in a conference and we'd play we'd play in a championship game,
right?
Conference championship game.
So they break the rules.
Fulfill that criteria.
Right.
Notre Dame, UMass Tuesday night action.
Positive for you, Landon. I retweeted a tweet last night. First one I've retweeted regarding Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Controlling the narrative is huge for recruiting. And here's why I say that. His point was you leave the biggest brand in college football, which up there. Maybe not, Ohio State's gotten up there, but
right,
one of the biggest brands out. And now look at all these media outlets. Look at all these analysts. Look at everything that's going on. Right. You could turn this in, if you're Marcus Freeman, you could turn this in to the biggest positive that he's had at Notre Dame, in my opinion. When you look at it, if I'm going to the portal or if I'm going to recruit and you see the impact our school has on the whole country, it's insane.
Very true.
Blew up Twitter. We're the number one thing trending for hours upon hours. That doesn't happen. Florida State a couple of years ago, that was, they can't do anything when they get left out. Notre Dame can. Yeah, and that's what I think, not only is it a positive for us to realize, like, shit, we're real. This brand's real. This brand controls more than what everyone thinks.
I mean, it's going to cause us chain of events to expand the playoff or perhaps change the system a little bit. I'll tell you that.
It's going to cause teams like Ohio State to think about going independent, in my opinion. Because you talk about these conference games or conference championships being irrelevant.
It's true.
Big brands are going to consider it because now they can't be controlled. Notre Dame is proving that they can't be controlled. Yeah, we got left out, but at the end of the day, we're costing people a lot of money.
Right.
And that's where our AD's got to be. Got to be a dick.
Yeah.
I think this is the dumbest sport in all of them.
Oh.
How they do it?
I love it, but it's dumb. Like, it's funny because no one has a freaking answer to this problem. Let's expand the playoff. Well, they'll still be bickering on ESPN for an hour on, this time of year anyway. There's still going to be these debates. Oh, the conference championship doesn't matter. Well, look at Alabama. They were lucky to score 7 points on 2 holds that gave them 40 yards and, personal foul, whatever. And and then BYU gets mollywopped and they're not even thought about. Oh, they're done for sure. Yeah. But, Texas Tech, they were able to beat BYU a second time. That's impressive. If Georgia, that's the problem with Alabama. They win one game on the road against the SEC champ in the middle of the season on probably a get right week, and next thing you know, that's what they're valuing, which is just crazy because it's all these conundrums. Going back, I'm tying a bow on this. I'm coming back to it. It's a dumb sport because there's so much controversy and debate and all these stupid things that you don't see anywhere else. And it's tough because there's no right answer for it. But that's what makes it stupid. Like, there's no true consensus on how to handle situations like these. Teams get screwed. Not only that, these student athletes get screwed. And, you're trying to build a culture and you're left with like an opportunity because you have talking heads at the top. It's like the baseball purist crowd up there. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Now
you learn your lesson.
Those guys on those shows too, they carry a lot of weight, right? So Saban spewing his mouth all day long on Saturday. People listen to that. And he's an SEC. He's Bama, right? He's Bama.
He is Bama, yes. He is Bama. Back to the comp.
I think this is going to solidify and make Notre Dame's commitment to independence even stronger.
Yes.
The only thing that could happen is that the SEC and the Big Ten, they join forces and they decide to go break off on their own. But then you're looking at like antitrust, monopolizing things, and you're getting into, legalities that are, yeah. So, I think a lot of this, like Logan said, comes back to, we got our money last year. They weren't going to give us the part of the pie again this year. They wanted to split that up with other schools, not Notre Dame, shove it up our yin yang. We got to wait another year. Okay, that's fine. This is kind of the back end of, we always say we're Notre Dame and they're not. That's okay. This is like retribution for that. Right. Okay. Now can we get into the whole bowl game thing?
I was going to say one more thing regarding the conferences.
Go ahead.
I am over the ACC. I want out of the conference friendship. I want out of the conference for baseball, softball, basketball, lacrosse, swimming, soccer, everything. I want to join the Big Ten or Big East for those sports, one of the two. I want fully 100% independence for football. Screw the conference. We don't need the conferences. But I'm over the ACC.
What need to happen is if you were to leave the conference, the contract's till 2030.
Well, we can pay it.
Conference we're going to have to go to is going to have to help, essentially, with all the other sports.
Big Ten's got 20 teams. They can pay it.
I'm with you. I think we should do as little as possible for the ACC from here on out. I would get out of that football contract, which would be the first thing I would get out of.
Immediately. Now, that brings us to this bowl game. And
JR, you agree with that?
Which part?
How are you feeling about the ACC? Like, are you frustrated with them?
Well, the whole campaigning and, propaganda week-long, basically we are a member. So the fact that they actively campaigned against us, I think there should be some consequence for that. I actually think Notre Dame's looking to the SEC before they would look to the Big Ten. If they were to join a conference, especially with football being included, I think they would go to the SEC before they went to the Big Ten.
Okay.
Because the Big Ten said no.
What's that?
Because the Big Ten has said no.
Yeah, I think there's too many things that have taken place over the course of 100, 150 years between the two sides. And I think that Notre Dame realizes that maybe, we saw it this year, their weight carries a little bit more in football. So if you lock up with that brand in that conference. Those two, that's pretty powerful. But, like to your point, if schools, I think Ohio State's the wrong example of a team who might look to get away from the Big Ten. I think a school like Michigan would look to get away from the Big Ten. So that may pose some breakage or some leakage there, where you have some other schools that may want to look to get out and, join some sort of independence. I don't know. Things are definitely going to break, though.
100%. I agree. Now that brings us to the next point. Go ahead, Dylan.
One quick thought here. The ACC just been very mean to us. It feels like we're the stepsister in there, and then they just, they banged us. It's what they did. So, now it's awkward. We're stuck in this conference where, we're the step sibling, and
they're the redheaded stepchild.
Yes.
I just look at it, though, from like, you see how they're trying to kind of schedule in the future, Auburn, Bama, Arkansas,
which they're going to back out 100%.
They seem to be looking to play those kinds of teams to bolster their schedule, as opposed to, Big Ten schools. I think they do have relationships with Big Ten schools that they like to keep, but I think that's separate from the conference of the Big Ten as a whole. And part of the problem is these conferences are huge.
Yeah. Need to go back to how it was. Need to go back to how it was.
And the only problem I have with Miami getting in, you guys, they're not 10-2. They're 9-2.
Yeah.
They're 9-2. They're not 10-2. But you guys want to count Bethune-Cookman? You good on it? Yeah, and
man.
the whole Bama beat Auburn in this
night
big rivalry game.
Jordan Hare at night.
Again, collective amnesia. Did we play in a rivalry game that weekend? Who did we play? What did we do that weekend?
Beat the ever-living shit.
That's a rivalry game. I guess that one doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now, going along here with the bowl game, obviously Notre Dame declined to play a bowl, and I love it. I love this decision. It sends, you know what, you want to send a big FU to us? We'll send a big FU right back, because as Logan said, we are a brand. We are a national brand. And bowl games, aka ESPN, they want our brand. They want our money. They want our fans. They want our viewers. They want us to buy their merchandise for the bowl game. I mean, I know Bob would go to the bowl games way back in the day. He would go to every bowl game there was, and he would give his money to the bowl game, which goes back to the people who run college football, which is the CFP committee. Why should we give the same committee who just screwed us our money, our viewership, and our time? Get out of here. I'm sorry. You don't deserve it. If we're not good enough to play in your football, in your playoff, which is a sham, I'm not gonna play in your stupid consolation bowl games. We're not gonna be a pawn anymore. You're not gonna get to use us for profit anymore. I mean, you had one of their networks frickin' run the replay of us losing to make a profit off of us for an entire week. An entire week. No, done. You're not gonna profit off of us anymore for the rest of the year for football. Basketball is another story. You had something to chime in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing it to JR, but I agree with you, Landon. But I think we have lost sight throughout this whole show. Number one priority is those kids in the locker room, and that's what it should always be about. That's what Notre Dame should be about. 100%. We can't control the decisions of other companies, other teams, the committee. We can control our decision with not playing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle because I do agree with you. I'm interested to see what Coach has to say. I read on Twitter, I don't know how true it is, that Freeman had the captain's vote on it, which if they voted no, I don't understand why. So with that being said, I'll give it to JR.
Well, you guys, first off, you call me coach. So what do I like to do? I like to go coach and compete,
Yeah.
right? What do I always say? Anyone, anytime, any place, right? So I've got a problem with that not going to play. Now, they wanted to pigeonhole us into BYU into some money-making matchup for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I'm an Indiana grad. I'm not a Notre Dame grad, so I don't try to come off as being as smart as Notre Dame people. And that's kind of above my pay grade as to, how to make a difference. They run that halftime promo at Notre Dame games as to, Notre Dame's making a difference. They're thinking a little bit differently out of the box, above and beyond just going to play and compete this year for a meaningless Pop-Tart Bowl championship, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like the students at the University of Notre Dame, they think a little bit differently and are probably motivated a little bit differently than the average student out there. So, and it also opens up the door for people to give all kinds of hate, take your ball and run home and, go hide in the sand.
Yeah.
And at the base level, there's some truth to that. The simplest way to go prove that you belong is to go kick somebody's ass in a bowl game and be like, see, we told you so. Right. But the simplest solution to all of this, it's not joining a conference. It's not playing in a conference championship. It's winning your goddamn games. Right? If you go 12-0, nobody keeps you out. Right? What did Sig say when we were elevated to 1? Sig said, it doesn't matter unless you finish the year number 1. Right? So it's nice to get there. But if you win all your games, none of this matters. You're there. If you're not 10-2 and you're 12-0, you think they're going to leave a 12-0 Notre Dame team out?
Not even up for discussion.
Okay, so, my mom always has a saying. She says, for every finger that you got point at you, you got like 3 more pointing back at yourself, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I kind of feel about this. We can be upset. We can be angry about not making the playoff. It kind of feels like not going to a bowl game is kind of like the retribution for being picked on for not being in the conference, right? Okay, so almost kind of like tit for tat. I don't like that. But again, to me, the simplest solution is win your games, you guys. I predicted 10-2. I thought that was going to be good enough to get us in. It was a weird year. Most years may not turn out like this, but who knows? It could be like this again next year. Oh. And the only solution is to win them all, you guys. Leave no doubt. Win them all. Take names. Keep receipts. Let everybody know. So there is no misinterpretation. Mm-hmm. There is no way that the referee can throw a flag at the last play of the game. There is no way that some group of people can hop in a room on the last weekend and decide that they're going to drop us again. I mean, how many times did we drop prior to this weekend and last weekend? We didn't drop at all.
Right.
We were lied to. We were given false hope. Mm-hmm. We were led by the hand, totally misleading. Just
what a sham.
But again, we got some fingers that point back at ourselves.
Absolutely. 100%.
I would go play a bowl game. I think those are valuable practices. I think those are valuable. And if you don't want to compete and you don't want to go and you want to transfer, okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to find out a little bit more about my team during this. I guess you could just hop back into the weight room and start your off season and do all that. But there's some value in going to play in a bowl game against a BYU or Texas or whoever they wanted to, make some sham bowl game with. I kind of like the Clark Lee idea. Leave that last weekend open for teams to go play a 13th game if they need to make a final statement.
Yeah.
But yeah, Logan, that's how I feel. I'm a coach. I'd want to go coach. But it sounds like that decision was left to the players.
Yeah, but also I think I agree with you. It's like we gave them the dessert too, because now it's like we took our ball and went home, and now we're pouting. It's just like, I don't know. To me, it's a kid like CJ Carr deserves reps, deserves another opportunity to go play this year. Aeneas Williams deserves an opportunity to go play this year. Malachi Fields and Will Pauling deserve to play another game. But at the end of the day, if they didn't want to, I get it. But
can't blame them.
Like, you put so much fuel into the fire playing that game, you're going to be pissed off either way.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't move the needle, but it could benefit you with guys who need reps in your development process.
Yes.
And you could say it can help recruiting. You can say it can help the portal. Fellas, we got a 2026 class that's really good coming in, and not one of them decommitted or flipped. Not one.
Mm-hmm.
You have kids coming in that love Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the momentum there is already there. Recruiting, Freeman more time to recruit. Okay, like, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's doing the best we've seen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But to me, you just don't say no to having an opportunity to compete.
That is a little out of character for him.
Because he does. He says choose hard. He said, we'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. And I'm not saying he's not living to what he says, but at the end of the day, everybody in that locker room should be a competitor. If you get an opportunity to compete, go do it. If you're Jay Love, hell no. I'll lift. I'll travel with the team, but I'm not playing. Okay, good, fine. But I don't know. DK, what do you think?
You guys have all danced around my take.
Okay.
Like bits and pieces here and there. JR, win them all. Well, that's something Marcus Freeman has yet to do at his time at Notre Dame. And I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I'm just stating facts.
Yeah.
Right? 2 loss, 3 loss, 4 loss. 1 loss if you count his 2021. So he has yet to win them all. But what he has done is played and coached, or rather not played, he's coached. He has coached better than anyone in the nation under straight pissed off adversity.
Very true.
So here's my thing. How do you, after 10 win season, crank them out, boom, 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 boom. How do you keep these kids motivated for a master motivator like himself? I tell you what you do. You look at every dude in that room that's sitting there watching the selection show, that's angry, that's crying, that's seeing that they realized they played their last football game and didn't know it, that saw every single kid out there that busted their hind end for our university. You look them all in the face and you say, fellas, sit here with me. Okay, sit here. Remember this hurt. This stings like hell.
Yes.
You win a bowl game. It's not that you still don't have that pissed off mentality. The last time you saw Notre Dame play a football game, you thought you were punching your ticket to the college football playoff. And a group of talking heads stole it from you. So Marcus is going to use this as, oh my God, you don't want to run into the Irish in 2026 with the class we're bringing in, with an experienced CJ Carr now with 2 big games under his belt, 3 if you count USC. Going on the road, playing at 10:30 at night, playing like anywhere, any place, noon freaking rain. Who cares? You know? So this team is going to be just pissed off next year. And that's sort of the message I think I got from this. And also, they're keeping their money and they're staying true to their independence. I loved it.
I'll tell you what we're going to see from Marcus Freeman next year. It's a whole lot of this. I mean, this guy is going to be on fire.
Okay.
I mean, he is going
to.
Oh, well, that this was before the Texas A&M game when he was hyping up their crowd for booing us and stuff like that. But listen, next year is going to be. I pity the bad teams that we play because we're going to be making statements left and right. And Logan is right. This is out of character for Marcus not playing because the one thing I say about Marcus Freeman is he's a competitor. He's a damn good competitor too. He doesn't like losing. Nobody does, but especially him. I think he hates losing more than he likes winning. And I think that's how a lot of us are. But it's very out of character for him not to want to go compete, but I do understand why. But I think that's all we got here, folks. So long to Jeremiah Love, one of the best, if not the best, running backs in Notre Dame football history. Not going to get a chance to play for another ring. And that's a damn shame. We can talk more about that on Wednesday when we do our season recap and bull picks. But in case you missed it, here's the field. Number 1, Indiana, 13-0. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. Amazing season. I guess let's go win a national championship, huh, Sig? Ohio State, number 2. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Texas Tech. Those 4 teams receive the byes. Number 5, Oregon will face number 12, James Madison University in Eugene. Number 6, Ole Miss will host number 11, Tulane, a game that was played already, and Ole Miss won by 5 touchdowns. That game is in Oxford. Number 7, Texas A&M will host number 10, Miami in the battle for the Notre Dame Bowl. They can call this game the linebacker in Notre Dame Bowl. In College Station, A&M and Miami, and then number 8, Oklahoma will face number 9, Alabama in Norman. That should be either our spot or Miami spot right there. We should be going to A&M or we should be heading to Norman. First 2 out, number 13, Notre Dame, number 14, BYU. We do have a pick to make. JR is out of here. I don't know where he went, but probably had to take him. He had to take him. What's the Hunter years? He had to take him a playoff commissioner. Little dumperoo there. He's creating some criteria in the bathroom right now, I think. Here's the standings after the conference championship. JR, nobody moved. Right. Shitter's full, Eddie. JR and Logan did not move. They both went 4 and 5. They both had the same picks, which is kind of lame, if you ask me. Logan played it safe. JR played it safe last week. Logan went first since he won last year. But anyway, JR's 253 and 81. Logan is 252 and 82. Dylan Kearns, last place, 241 and 93. Myself is in third place at 244 and 90. So things are heating up. Logan, I will start with you. Army versus Navy, Saturday, 3 p.m. on CBS. This year's game will be in Baltimore.
Navy.
Yeah. I will say the underdog has dominated in this series. It usually always goes to the underdog in this ball game. Dylan.
Yeah, I will pick the midshipman.
I'm going with the Navy midshipmen as well to go to 11 and 2. They got a date with Cincinnati, I believe, in the Liberty Bowl, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We'll get JR's pick when he is back or separately on the text. But we do thank you for tuning in to this show. Sorry for the very somber tone. Just kind of salty, kind of, obviously. Who wouldn't be? But we are back Wednesday to recap the 2025 campaign and, of course, make our bowl picks. It's the bowl extravaganza. And then we bid a farewell to you until the spring. So you're not going to want to miss Wednesday's show. It is our last show of the year. That being said, of course, as always, folks,